Yes, there's a Monday Night Football tonight, which means we've snuck down into the Monday Night Football studio to get a word with Jamie. Good to see you, Jamie. We've got to start with the champions. They've swept everything before them for a number of years. All of a sudden, they can't win a game. After the game, Pep says, "I'm not good enough." What did you think when you heard that?
I think over the last couple of months, he's probably right. But we all know he is, one of, if not the greatest, manager of all time. And every time you watch Man City, you feel like this will be the moment when they get back to what we've seen in the past. And you feel at some stage that it can't get any worse. And it feels like it does. I think of that Feyenoord game. And then at least that was a draw. I mean, it wasn't a great game yesterday. I think we should say that even if City would have won that game 1-0, as it looked like it was going to happen, I think we'd have still been coming here today just saying, City are not right. That win doesn't mask what we've just seen in these last few weeks or what we saw yesterday. But to lose the way they did towards the end of the game, great drama, great for us, the game being on Sky. But no, I think psychologically it's another massive blow. It's going to be tough to come back from it.
Can you see any signs of a fix?
No, the only way you fix this, and this is what I felt 2 or 3 weeks ago, is the January transfer market. They've just got so many players of a certain age in the same position, and signings that they've made over the last sort of 12, 24 months have not been good enough. And when you're asking them now to step up, they're not at the level that's needed being. I think of probably Nunes, Doku, who've come in. Like you think of course Calvin Phillips was bought a couple of years ago as well.
Silvinho's come in.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I think the stars and the legends of Manchester City, you think of De Bruyne, you think of, Silva, you think of Rodri being out. They need help, and the players who are coming out, can't provide it right now.
Yeah, really different feel on the other side of Manchester, of course. Rúben Amorim made a really, really big decision beforehand, didn't he? Rashford and Garnacho out of the matchday squad. How significant do you think that was and will be?
It's significant in that I think early on, we see this with most managers who come in, they want to send a message to the squad about the standards of the football club. I think in some ways it feels a bigger decision than it actually is, because it looks like a big message. He's left Marcus Rashford out. I mean, is Marcus Rashford in the best 11? Really? How good is he? We're not talking about a world-renowned superstar here. I actually think we talk about Marcus Rashford too much, if I'm being totally honest. He's a good player. He's not a great player. He's been a really good player for Manchester United. It is time for him to leave the club. But whether there'll be any takers with the wages the lad's on and things like that, who knows? But I just think a parting of the ways is inevitable at some stage. And I think for Manchester United and Rashford, the quicker that comes, the better.
Do you like the look of Amorim?
Yeah, I mean, I like it just because, listen, you take a liking or a dislike sometimes to certain managers, the way they come across in interviews or something they say, or maybe how they react after wins or defeats. We're all scrutinising managers. That's why it's such a tough job. I really like the cut of his jib. He comes in, I think he speaks well. But listen, it's all about results. And I think that was a big one for him. Because I think when a new manager comes in, no one's expecting Man United to win every week. We know they're not good enough. But I think when you bring a new manager in, you want him to see a couple of big wins against good opposition and, a top manager in Pep. And he's been Pep now twice in maybe a month or so. So it shows he's obviously got the ingredients to be a top manager, but there's so much competition in the Premier League. But I think over the next 18 months, we'll probably give him an easy ride, because we know there's a lot to turn around at that football club. But that was a big one to build belief with his own players and supporters in his methods.